Greetings and greetings to you all. Thank you for joining us again in this Five from the Spiritual Quest. My name is Master Abdullah Ngom. And today on the Five from the Journey, we're going to talk about what we refer to as the battle between good and evil. That you see written within our religious doctrine as well as a folklore within our cultural traditions. However, we're going to try to decide. We're going to try to decide this on the battle between good and evil on a spiritual point of view. And when you're able to decide what we refer as the battle between good and evil on a spiritual perspective, you will know clearly there never was and never will be a battle between good and evil. Because good does not participate in a battle of destruction of any kind. Any battle of physical destruction is all evil in their nature. Evil versus evil in their nature. And good is not part of that. This dynamic that we label as a battle between good and evil is no more than a struggle. Human struggling in confusion to decipher good and evil. Evil glamorized and glorified through this system. Evil in the name of holiness, evil in the name of cultural traditions, evil in the name of the rule of law. Any physical destruction, cruelty is not part of the love of God, who never give up on us. With all the horror we have done to this earth and to each other, He still want to save us. He still want to save us. Sometimes you have to ask why. Why want to save these creatures? But He still want to save us. He still want to save us. This God is a merciful God. It's not the same God. It's not the same God you see portrayed within the scripture, who's more like a destructive monster and a storyteller. It's not the true God we're talking about here. The true God we talk about, go here, you will have a glimpse of the God we talk about. As well as it's not a God that mold out of clay and carve out of wood, or these mythical God and goddesses that we hear about, that who are not any less wicked than the wicked of our modern generation. And this God also is not the one you see in America, currency that you see in God we trust. Not that God. Not that God. If that was the true God, America would be the most compassionate nation in this earth. But it's the most destructive nation in this earth. It was built by the blood of the innocent, the greatest crime of ever committed in the soil of this earth. The first one and the only one who detonate the most deadly weapon that humankind have built in the innocent people. The only one nation. He committed the crime that no nation in this planet ever committed. And putting in the currency in God we trust. A mockery. The devil mocking God. The God you trust is the God we call the devil, not the true God. The one who wants to be God. Who will get kicked out by the true God and come here. And guess what? He wanted to be a God. Based on his intellect, he think he can do better than God. That's how dumb, that's how really dumb this creature is. He think he can do better than God. The God who created you, created everything, you think you can do better than the God. That's why he got kicked out, for the stupidity of the intellect. Think he can do better. He got kicked out. And when he come to the Garden of Eden, what he did? He did the same thing to the Adam and Eve. They also got kicked out. Promise them they promise them more enlightenment. They can be enlightened, more knowledge, more knowledge instead of purpose. More knowledge instead of purpose. More knowledge, 3D level instead of purpose. God gave you commandment. God will give you purpose. They disobey the purpose, forfeit themselves from the purpose for knowledge, which is a curse. Intellect. They brag about intellect, intellectualism. If intellectualism was useful, this world would be a peaceful world. But what intellect do? Intellect destroy the world. Intellect is what destroying the world. What destroying the world is intellect. We have built enough arsenal to obliterate the earth itself. Build enough arsenal to destroy the entire planet through intellectualism. And we're bragging about it. Bragging about our mind of destruction. And many are working with the same spirit, Lucifer's spirit. Before America were built, there was the Native American. There were the Native Indian. These were peaceable people who live in peace, have great admiration with nature, love in peace, respect nature, value nature. What they did? They come, they enter, they wipe them out. Genocide. Kill them all of them. Kill all of them. Take the land. What they did with the land. Make it a base. The crime scene, they make it now is a base. Where they can go destroy, cause destruction in many parts of the world. They will come to a nation with their corrupted mentality, with their corrupted backward mentality, labeled with democracy, advocating democracy. A poison to poison the democracy. The democracy is a poison to kill things, to destroy things. That's what the democracy is to them. They come and make things worse, whole lot worse, in the name of democracy. That's the Lucifer spirit. That run within the veins of many. All these superpower nations, they all function based on Lucifer's spirit. They're destroying the world. They're not building anything. Everything they build is industrial. Destroy nature to build industrial. Destruction. This world would have been better off without us being here. Because humans are the only creature who can destroy the world. Only one. No other creature on this planet can do what human can do. And guess what? We're doing just that. Destroying the world. That's our capable of destruction. And we're bragging about it. Bragging about destruction. It's time for humankind to come with their moral senses and do what is right for this world. And do what is right for one another. And stop this foolishness. That's what makes it spirituality to be crucial. For humankind to be able to rise up and ascend to the 5D reality, where they will have a better understanding of the reality of this lower frequency of the 3D that we're struggling in. Because the spirituality allows one to see everything as they truly are. The spirituality brings clarity. That's why spirituality is crucial. Because when you manifest on the 5D reality, you can see the 3D reality clear as crystal. This is a universal law. The way you function on the physical world, physical reality is function the same way in the spiritual reality. It's like the metaphor, a mountain. The one who's on the bottom and the one who's on the top. Those on the bottom are the 3D reality, and the one on top function on a 5D reality. The one who's on top can see further and wider and clearer than the one who on the bottom, the mountain. This is universal law. From this 5D reality, you see everything as they are. They don't belong to God. They function the same way. Religion, government, religion, culture, government, they function the same way. And they're all equally guilty for crime against humanity. They are equally guilty for crime against humanity. They don't belong to God. If you are enlightened, to be able to manifest on the 5D reality and see the world as it truly is, you will know evil is not something to brag about. Destruction is not something you brag about. Cruelty is not something you brag about. This generation are given the opportunity to set things right. To ascend on the 5D reality, thus to see evil in its true nature. Just then, we will be able to condemn all the evil of the past and feel shame about it. And does not matter who commit the act. Whether your mom, dad, brother, sister, grandfather, grandmother, doesn't matter who committed the act, you will condemn it. And basically that was the mission of Christ, to enlighten. The era of Christ was era of enlightenment, to enlighten humankind, to ascend to the 5D reality so they can better understand the 3D reality. Because when you hear, you will be able to see evil in its true nature, what it truly is. And when you do, you will not be able to harm any life, human and not human. That's what Christ was here to teach and manifested, putting in action. That's why all the evil that was inflicted on him. Sorrow and horror. Christ did not fall back or curse them for their doing. Instead, he forgave them for their ignorance, pray for them to be forgiven. And that's basically after he was crucified. That's where the second coming of Christ was ordained as a necessity, because humankind have failed to get it, or getting it, not implemented. So second coming was necessary. And the second coming is two elements: enlightenment and moral justice. Because Christ came for enlightenment and he was crucified. This time, the energy or the mindset that crucified Christ will be on a trial. That's what moral justice is. And when the second coming was ordained, that's where the same deceiver start his campaign. That's where the notion of the rapture and all this religious fallacy come to play. And endorsed by selfish and ignorant people. Think that to be raptured and leave everyone behind, that make them feel special in their narrow mind. But Christ is not coming here to take anybody anywhere. This is a spiritual ascent where one will be given the choice to be enlightened to come to the 5D reality. Because when you hear, you will no longer be a victim of this 3D lower frequency reality. When you ascend to the 5D reality, with your understanding, you will no longer be the victim of sorrow and ignorance of the lower level of the 5D reality. That's what the spiritual is all about. And that's why moral justice comes with the enlightenment at this time. Because if you refuse to go here, you will not be in peace here. You will be on trial. You will be on trial. The moral justice comes with the 5 elements. And these 5 elements of moral justice is to educate and limitate. Limitate your capability of destruction. You can be blind, deaf, mute, crippled. And the 5th one is the terrifying one. I cannot explain it here. Things get a whole lot worse. That I cannot explain here. Humankind is on judgment. Fight between good and evil. There's no battle. There's never was and never will be battle between good and evil. When you talk about Lucifer create chaos in heaven and he was cast down as a falling angel. The greatest lie ever told. The greatest lie ever told. That never happened. Lucifer was given privilege to live in heaven. It's written here in the 5 elements. Based on his intellect, questioning God's authority, he got kicked out. And he got kicked out and come down on earth again, want to be the God of the world. His first victim, Adam and Eve, deceived them and they got kicked out from the Garden of Eden. And the descendant of Adam and Eve inherited that curse. Lucifer, the devil, is not an angel. There's never was battle with God, battle with the God of this universe, the Alpha and the Omega. If you understand the warriors of God, if you understand their nature, you will know God does not need to battle with anyone. His warriors can do the job. Because the devil, if all these knucklehead nations with all their arsenal got together as one, the devil with all his demonic crew and gangs got together, with creatures in all timelines and dimensions, all got together, to fight God, God will do no more than speak 3 words only. God will wipe them out all from existence. 3 words only. No longer be, and they will cease to be from existence. This is the God we're talking about. Nobody can battle with God. God doesn't battle. And the angel of God, and the warriors of God, one warrior alone, all this knucklehead nation with all their arsenals, the demon with all his crew, this warrior alone who can defeat them all of them. And if I would have put illustration in this or metaphor, this warrior with his divine authority, all the nation and the devil and all, would be like a 95 years old woman with a kitchen knife facing the greatest warrior ever stepped foot in this earth. That is not a battle. You cannot call that a battle. Nothing in this 5D reality is equal to this 3D reality, let alone the heaven authority, let alone talk about the heavenly authority, the divine authority. Compared to this 3D reality, you don't understand how the system of God is set up. If you think a heavenly being can be defeated here, you don't understand how things work. You don't understand how things work. Christ was not crucified for weakness. If Christ wanted to destroy those who propagated to be crucified, and those he could do that, he could easily do that. But that was not his mission. That's not how the heavenly kingdom function. It's not how the heavenly kingdom function. The heavenly kingdom function the opposite of the evil who rule this world. Evil destroyed, righteousness restored. Believe it or not, moral justice is here for all. From that spoiled brat teenager who have no respect, also any gratitude, fail to realize when they come into this world, if they were not taken care of, they will not last days. Because the Lucifer spirit that's floating everywhere infect these young kids. And they're not exempt in this judgment. From them to the gangbangers who have no concern in human life, expressing their cruelty and bragging about it. Just because they want to and can and allow to by the same system. They want to and can and allow to by the same system. Lucifer's spirit won in their veins. Moved on to the law enforcer who enforcing a demonic law, willing to kill to enforce a demonic law. To the soldier who willing to kill to enforce a demonic ideology of a system. To many of these knucklehead world leaders who running and ruling the world, serving a demonic system. To the top of the elite, who hide behind the veils of evil, think that they are invincible just because they can sit at a table dining with the devil. They think that they are untouchable. But moral justice is here for all. Moral righteousness will no longer tolerate to be humiliated by the first authority of evil. Moral righteousness will no longer allow itself to be humiliated by the first authority of evil. That has no credibility in the court of the law of God. Moral righteousness will no longer allow itself to be humiliated by the first authority of evil. Time to judgment. Evil is on trial. Evil is on trial in the court of moral righteousness. Enlightened to do what is right or face judgment to take you where you belong. Because God said enough. God said enough is enough. It's time for evil to pack his bag. It's time for evil to pack his bag. Time is up. You gotta go. Anyone who wanna follow them, one way or another, go by will or be taken by force. One way or another. This is God's time and this is God's world. God on the world and this is God's time. And this must be planted with the consciousness of all humankind. You are given opportunity to do what's right. To do what's right, to redeem yourself, heal the past, take care of the present, and set the great future for the generation to come. There's the opportunity, great opportunity, unique opportunity, that the humankind must not mess this up. Humankind cannot afford to mess this up. Because it is God's time. Again, I'm going to leave it here till next time. But we have choice to make. Let's make the right choice and redeem ourselves. And heal our past. And set a foundation for a great future. For all the generation to come. This is something we can do. This is something we need to do. This is something we are given the opportunity to do as the human race. And we cannot afford to mess this one up. We cannot afford to mess this one up. Everything we have been doing have not worked, being nothing but sorrow, horrors and sorrows. This world we have turned this world a living hell for the majority. Human made. Enough is enough. We can do what we need to do. We can fulfill our purpose. We can fulfill our purpose to do what's right for the world, to do what is right for the collective. We are given this opportunity, and we cannot afford to mess this one up. We cannot afford to mess this one up. Everything that divides us, not of God. Everything and anything that divides us, animosity, divide one from another, is not of God. And when you manifest from the 5D reality, you see the same thing. It's clear as crystal. It's clear as crystal. You will see the same biological thread, the same spiritual biological thread that you see in one. Is the same that you see in all. Same thread. God bound us. That's what you call the human race. Human race. And evil come to separate through illusion, but in reality cannot be separated. Because even if one is labeled as good and the other labeled as evil, they still part of the human race. Cannot be divided. Cannot be that the spiritual bond cannot be broken. This is who we are as the human race, and we need to recognize this, honor it, and to exercise that toward all the creatures of the world. And so great admiration to the earth itself that stands us. Because we are the guardian. We were meant to be the guardian of the earth. But not the disease that destroys it. But not the disease that destroys it. We have a chance to redeem ourselves. Let's take it and make the best out of it. Let's take it and make the best out of it to shame the enemy of God. So I think I'm going to leave it here till next time. And as always, be well, and God bless us all. And thank you for tuning in. This is Master Abdullah Ngom on a 5 element journey.